Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Hello, my name's Colin Fry, and welcome to The Sixth Sense. Well, hello, everybody. And thank you for coming along today. Join me now as we try to bring the two worlds just a little bit closer together. I feel I want to be with a gentleman. I've got a lady here. She's putting an impression in my mind of a photograph of a young man, or a man when he was younger, with an older male figure holding up a fish. Sir, do you understand this?
Might do, yeah. Yeah, sort of.
Tell me, sir, is Mum still with us?
No.
This impression's being put in my mind of this photograph.
Yeah.
Or she's showing it to me like a photograph of what I perceive to be you, an older male figure, and a fishing trip or a fish being held
Yeah,
up.
I can remember it, yeah.
You can remember this. Why is this lady then showing me... I also need to remind you about a time when there was a cut or a tear and there was blood everywhere.
When I was... Could be when I was ill.
Yeah.
Right?
She died, wasn't it?
You can understand this. Would you please understand that, like, you frightened the living daylights out of everybody?
Yeah.
Right, OK. Why does this dear lady show me March? What's so important about March with you?
Nothing really, is it? Not I can remember, no.
Yes, something or someone was given the clear.
You came out of hospital in March.
Yeah, I'll come out.
That was a month
Hospital.
after she died.
What did they do 3 times?
Chest drains. I had chest drains.
3 times?
Yeah.
They didn't hold out a lot of hope on the 3rd occasion.
One
No,
time they didn't, no.
Your mum's given me this feeling you weren't intended to pass. All right? It was not intended for you to pass. She needs you to know, like, the stops were pulled out on the other side of life. Because they were determined you weren't going over to join them.
Mm.
Who's the little one that we got this side of life who still gets, like, anxious if you have to go out or go away or be out of the house?
Could be Harry at the moment, isn't it? My little boy.
Your little boy. How old's this lad?
5, nearly 6.
Why have we got the cube?
He wants a square fish tank for his birthday,
Yeah.
and that's at the weekend.
And who's told him that this, if you get this, it won't be a toy?
Yeah, we have.
Yeah.
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 All right. Are the 4 of you together?
Yeah.
I'm being drawn over... It's being drawn over towards you, my love. Who's Alf?
My husband.
Spirit side?
Yeah.
All right. Because this lady's bringing in Alf.
Yeah. His granddad.
Oh, it's your grandfather.
So, grandpa.
My God.
Your grandfather. All right. I'm going to say this in the nicest possible way I met. He's a bit of a moaner, isn't he? Because he's saying, I don't like doing this. All right. OK. This is all a bit strange for him because he's just saying, when he was this side of life, he would have said, I'm not having any of that weird stuff round me. All right. OK. Because I get the feeling from what he's actually shown me, you've sort of had an interest in this type of thing for, like, a long time.
Yes.
And his attitude used to be, you keep that weird stuff out of the house. All right? So he's finding it a bit strange now, having to sort of, like, come through to you. Did you ever get to do the cruise?
The what?
No. Didn't do the cruise, no.
But it was talked about.
Did you talk about a cruise?
Very often, but we never went.
OK. How or why did he crack the rib or bruise the chest on this side?
Well,
I don't know. They might have done it when they operated.
I can't use that word, so not... He's telling me in rather a graphic way that the biggest pain for him was the sore backside.
that's right.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I can't use the word that he was using. All right. Do we have a boy in the family that wants to take up dance?
Harry and his dancing. Well,
We got a little boy that dances.
yeah.
He ought to be allowed to do that. There's a reason why your husband's saying this. Like, if that's what the boy wants to do, then he should be allowed to do it.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Definitely.
All right. Just about to start World War III in a family. All right. Okay. Can I just tell you that your husband sends his love to you? Your mum sends her love. We're getting love sent to you. And just, you weren't meant to go over. Pay a little bit of attention, all right, I'm saying, pay a little bit more attention to your boy. Because he just needs to be made to feel secure at the moment. And I think the feeling is even though you know that you're going to end up looking at, get him his fish tank. All right, OK. I'll leave your family's love with you. God bless you. All right.
It was marvellous, you know, to think that out of that crowd he picked us out. I didn't think it would ever happen.
No, it was good.
But it was
It's more than we ever expected.
You, an older male figure, and a fishing trip or a fish being held
Yeah, I
up.
can remember it, yeah. It was a fishing trip I'd done when I was about 11, and I caught a large cod, and she took a photo of it, and I went with my uncles.
Cut or a tear, and there was blood everywhere.
I was in hospital for quite a while, and it was the time that she died, and they took me out of Guy's, like, for a funeral, and I was quite bad in hospital at the time, through lung, and trouble with my lung and pneumonia and that.
You frightened the living daylights out of everybody.
They actually did phone my wife up to get there, because they didn't think I was going to make the night, so it did frighten them.
Who's the little one that we got this side of life who still gets, like, anxious if you have to go out or go away?
That's my little boy. I've got to go to Ireland next week for a couple of weeks working away, and he's been really anxious. He's come into the bedroom yesterday morning to my wife crying, thinking I'd already gone.
I want something that's in a cube.
Yeah, that's the fish tank. It's my little boy's birthday at the weekend, and he wants a square fish tank. He doesn't want a round one, he wants a square one.
Who's Alf?
That's my husband.
He was a very happy, jolly publican.
Yeah.
He was a landlord of pubs. He was a happy chap, but about this, he would have moaned about us coming along. And
I'm just so sorry, love, that we never got to do
That's
the
right.
cruise.
We always said that if we retired, we'd go on the cruise, but it never did come off, because after he retired, he died.
How or why did he crack the rib or bruise the chest on this side?
We had a slight accident. He said, look at this car coming down, I'm going to stop. And of course, the car was speeding, and it hit us east side, and then bounced onto another car, and then he went down the road and his engine fell out. And of course, where he had shock and bruises all down one side.
it's brilliant. Colin was spot on, wasn't he? Without
Yeah.
Alfie.
You were spot on.
Yeah. Made our day, didn't it? Now they're together.
I want a mother in the world of spirit that watched wrestling on a Saturday afternoon. Who's Doris?
My auntie, she's still here.
Doris is still with us this
Yes,
side of
she
life,
is.
and that's Mum's sister.
That's right, yeah.
When Mum passed, can I just tell you that what Mum is actually saying? Doris was only doing what she thought was best.
Oh, I understand that,
You
yeah.
can understand that. She's doing my pet hat. She's saying, you see, I told them there was something wrong. All right?
Yeah, that's my mum.
Because she kept insisting there was something wrong with her, and they kept
Yeah.
saying, no, 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 you're all right. She's saying, I know I'm not
No,
all
we
right.
knew she wasn't.
Mum's putting H in front of me.
Howard, father-in-law.
Father-in-law. OK, all right. Can you just make sure that the family know that H arrived OK as well?
Oh,
all right.
lovely.
OK. Who was meant to be the May baby and ended up as the June baby?
That's got Dawn, isn't it?
That's
My sister.
my daughter, probably.
Your daughter. She was the... All right. She was the only one that always said, it won't be May, it'll be June.
Yeah, probably.
Right, OK. Because she knows that someone used to say she was a bit of a witch. All right? Because she always seemed to know things.
Who's that?
I don't know.
She always seemed to know things. You can understand that? All right?
Says that about her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. OK. I'll leave her love with you. All right.
It's very good, isn't he? Yeah. I find it very hard to believe how he picks up from all those people.
I want a mother in the world of spirit that watched wrestling on a Saturday afternoon.
Every Saturday, me, my mum, my dad at 5 o'clock used to watch Mick McManus fighting, and my dad loved wrestling.
Because she knows that someone used to say she was a bit of a witch.
My partner called her the witch. He just used to wind her up just as a joke. And we used to have this organ in the front room and she used to play it. And used to go behind her going like that, and she turned round once she'd give him a great big whack.
Doris was only doing what she thought was best.
Just before she passed over, it was not a dispute, but I felt a bit like I was under pressure to deal with everything myself. Well, she sort of tried to take over a bit, I think that's what it was, and help out a lot. And I think Mum thought I felt that was not right, you know.
Who was meant to be the May baby and ended up as the June baby?
My daughter Dawn, she was born in June. She was 2 weeks late.
Who's the H that she's trying to indicate that she's met with in her passing?
Well, that's my father-in-law who died of cancer about 10 odd years ago. So that will please my mother-in-law when she hears these come through.
There are many people out there that are sceptical and often unwilling to acknowledge even the remotest possibility of an afterlife. But I find it particularly satisfying when someone comes to see me for a reading with an open mind, even though their background or faith may not be able to rationalise the work that I do. Jeevee is one such person, and the results surprised even her.
My name is Jeevee Marietas, and I'm a research scientist, and I live in North London with my husband Robbie. As a researcher, I'm really intrigued how all this is done. We all have sixth sense, but how does Colin do it?
The first feeling that I'm getting is I'm getting a feeling of a lady. She shows me what I believe to be an image of you as a little girl.
Yeah, be my grandmother.
Yeah, this is what I'm feeling, a feeling of grandmother.
I was quite surprised when my grandmother came through, because I was 5 years old around that time when she died. So I can, relate to that she's thinking of me as a small girl.
What she does show me is that for you or your family, there's a very strong involvement with 3 different countries.
Right. We are 8 of us in the family, and 2 brothers and me, we live in this country in London, and there's another brother in America, and the rest of them are in Sri Lanka.
She's giving me this feeling that she is trying to draw forward a much younger person. As this young man is trying to link with me, this feeling that before he had passed away, he was really only just beginning to get to know you.
Probably, yeah.
Was it your brother that played the musical instrument?
Well, he was very sort of more with singing and, sort of comedian and so on. He used to act in dramas and plays and so on, and from his younger days till he died. So everybody knows him in Sri Lanka for that. Before my brother died, he rang me, and for some reason he said, well, I don't know how long I'm going to be around, so will you look after my little boy? That's his youngest son.
I feel of him being aware that they'd either given him a blood transfusion, and I feel from what he's showing me, they made 3 attempts to save the leg. They tried 3 times to save the leg.
Right. Okay.
All right, okay.
My brother had diabetes and then hurt his leg, and then that sort of spread, and then they had to cut his leg up to the knee. And then obviously while he was in the hospital, and they had to give blood transfusion for that reason.
Your brother gives me this feeling that he stands by an older gentleman. I feel this is your dad.
Yeah.
All right. Who are you trying to encourage to go into something to do with finance at the moment?
Well, I encourage all my nieces and nephews, so it could be
Right.
one of them.
Your father's comments are wonderful career, but not right for this boy.
Oh, right. I am encouraging my nephew to go into finance or that kind of subject, but he is interested in doing music in India. When my father was alive, he actually wanted each child to go in a particular direction. So, you know, do medicine, do engineering, and even I have 2 priest brothers in my family and all that. But for him to come back and say let him do what he wants, my nephew, that's quite interesting.
Dad, your brother and your grandmother have just wanted to give their love to you today. They know that it's you that they're speaking to, but they would just like you to tell all the family, we're fine, we're happy. And even though your brother passed in quite an unnecessary way, not a nice way,
Yeah.
he's whole and he's complete and he's happy.
Okay.
And he just wanted you to know that today.
Yeah.
And I'm going to leave his love with you.
I'm sure there's something more to this, you know, like, especially coming from a Catholic background, you know, these things are not meant to, you know, work in such a way and so on. But for me, I think, yes, there is something there.
Would someone in this block here understand about having a cartoon character painted on a child's bedroom wall? Do you have a child in the world of spirit?
No. Yeah.
You do? A boy?
A girl.
No, I want a connection to a boy. Hang on a minute. Do you have a son this side of life?
3 sons.
What? Got it. Was it the youngest one that said that he saw the girl at the end of the passage?
No, the
eldest.
one.
The eldest. OK. But he would have been small at the time?
Yeah.
OK, we're getting there. All right. Who's the Joan?
Of course, Sister Joan.
Still with us this side of life?
Yeah.
Right. Are you and her at odds?
It's not too bad.
Why did they put impressions of a lorry or lorries round you?
When there was traffic build-up where I live.
Luke last week nearly got hit by a lorry.
Yeah.
I can't believe this. Who got it into their head that they were going to call a dog Winston Churchill? Was it a bulldog? I got a gentleman here with saying, just mention about the dog they were going to call Winston Churchill. But you didn't?
No.
All right. Your dad's not the sort of bloke that would have said, you know, I love you, son, but he's just saying, you did all right. And I think that's his way of saying, you know, that he loves you and the rest of the boys.
All right.
OK. I'll leave Dad's best wishes with you. All right. OK, no problem.
Colin just amazed me. So, you know, it was just sort of like, instead of tears, it was just sort of like...
It makes your brain work, doesn't it? You're trying to think of what it is that it's all connected
thinking
to.
all the time. You're just thinking.
Your dad's not the sort of bloke that would have said, you know, I love you, son.
He never
Come here and give us a cuddle
That's
sort of
right.
thing, was he?
No. He would never sort of like tell you that he loved you, but he would show it in other ways. So, but yeah.
Do you have a child in the world of spirit?
Well, we didn't have a name. She was a miscarriage. But she would have been our first. So.
By now she would probably have been about the age of about 20, 21 maybe.
When he was a little boy this side of life, he said that there was a little girl standing at the end of the corridor.
That was our
eldest son, yeah. He was about
he was
2 at the time, so we actually thought it was my sister. He came screaming down the hallway and said, "Can you tell that lady to get out of the toilet?" One of us went to the toilet and there was nobody there, and we thought he was just mucking about doing, you know, things that little kids do. But he was really frightened about it.
Who's the Joan? You were annoyed with her over something.
I connected her with my sister Joan. Years ago we had a lot of trouble, but we have put it all behind now. It's on an even keel now.
Who got it into their head that they were going to call a dog Winston Churchill?
Yeah, we just recently bought a dog, a bulldog, and it was just a little bit of a joke, ongoing thing, saying like we're going to call it Winston Churchill.
Thank you very much. You've been very good audience, thank you. My name's Colin Fry. You've been watching The Sixth Sense. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Brilliant, I think.
Yeah, it was excellent. Just like the telly, he was brilliant.
It just confirms it, doesn't it, really? It's sort of just brings it back again, that it's there.